are in a situation like this. What did you like best about the way that you guys really kind of took the fight to them to begin this game?
Yeah, I mean, when you're on the road, great environment. Um, you got to get off to a good start, grab a grip on the game, and our guys did a great job of that. Kept the scoreboard moving. I thought our attacks on offense were great. Defense could have been a little better in the first half. We cleaned up a couple things in the third, got a little loose in the fourth, obviously, but really pleased with how ready we were to play.
And what did you notice just in terms of the way that they continue to chip away at you throughout the second half, leading up to the big 19-5 run?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously a really good team, and I thought we did a really good job holding them off in the third. We got a little more bogged down offensively, but we kept the scoreboard moving enough and kept them kind of at arm's distance. Fourth quarter, both ends of the floor just weren't good enough. They outplayed us there. They deserve credit for the win.
Yeah, Mark, what went into that fourth quarter that was such a big swing, especially Jordan Poole? He really got going there in the fourth.
Yeah, I just thought our defense wasn't really great all night. The offensive rebounds really hurt us. A lot of Curry's damage in terms of the open threes came off of the offensive glass. We gave up cuts. We gave up, rejects on pick and rolls, simple, like fundamental things that are little things, but they're big when they add up in a game like that. We weren't quite on point there, but I thought our competitiveness and our poise was there tonight. I just thought the execution on the defensive end wasn't great. And then offensively, they guarded us really well in the fourth. And like I said, deserve credit for the win.
You mentioned their offensive rebounds. They outscored you guys 25-9 in second chance points. What sort of went into that, or what did you see there?
I mean, I'd have to see them all. Some of them are bounces, but they fly guys to the glass. Their wings get to the glass. Peyton's really good. Kuminga's really good. Looney stays on the glass. And I just thought, they kind of had more will in that area of the game. And that's been an area, I mean, Phoenix, it was the inverse the other night against Phoenix, where we really dominated the second chance battle, and obviously gave that up tonight. That was costly.
Usman has given you guys some spot minutes in these last couple of games. Like, what do you see from him as he's playing in these really big spots for you guys?
He continues to get better. He continues to get more comfortable. I thought he was in his spots defensively. It's a great environment. Both where we are in the season and also like just on the road against a team like Golden State. Not only for him but for everybody. But he just continues to keep his head down. He's working. G League season's over, so a lot of our additional work is in practices, live contact stuff with the lower minute players, and he's doing a really good job there. And it's easy to get lost in where we are in the season, but he just continues to put one foot in front of the other and continue to grow here.
What explanation did you get from the officials when J-Dub wasn't allowed to check in there on that dead ball?
I mean, they know that was a mistake. Here's my frustration with that. When there's a dead ball like that, the official kind of has discretion on how quickly to inbound the ball. Players in the league, Green was the inbounder there, have figured that out, and they go over there and they compel the official, basically like, give me the ball, give me the ball. And with some players in the NBA, clearly Green being one of them, they just throw the ball in. And there's three officials on the court. Jalen Green is at the scorer's table. I checked him in possessions before to get him in for a defensive possession. And they inbound the ball so fast that none of them even recognize that there's a sub, which is the equivalent of an umpire walking a guy on 3 pitches. And now I have to call a timeout to get the sub in. They scored on the ensuing possession. I was getting one of our better defenders in the game, and I get a technical. So that oversight by them cost us 3 points and a timeout. Earlier in the game, 5:57, third quarter, there's an out of bounds on Golden State. Lou Dort's the inbounder, same official. Lou Dort's begging for the ball, doesn't give it to him. Same situation. That's why I lost my mind, because that was in front of our bench. And that to me is just it's something that we feel regularly as the youngest team in the league. But that one, for a sub to be up and for the ball to be inbounded so quickly that they don't see the sub, I was beside myself on that, obviously. But with that being said, credit to Golden State. It's not why we lost the game. It was a one-possession game at the time. They closed better than we did. That had nothing to do with the outcome. But that's where the frustration comes from.
Did they admit that they just missed that?
Yeah, but I mean, they can't give us the points with the timeout back.
Coach, you mentioned your offense was humming throughout the night. That wasn't really the problem for you guys. I lost count. It seemed like there were 5 and ones for you guys. Just how important was the physicality for you guys and the way that your offense was able to be so effective?
Yeah, I thought offensively we played with good force. I thought we attacked. They're an aggressive defense, both on the ball and in their help, and you can't be timid against them. I thought we got a little bit on our heels in the fourth quarter. I thought their physicality amped up, and we weren't quite as forceful as we were earlier in the game. But we set a great tone on that end of the floor. I mean, 125 points on the road is a good number, and we deserve credit for that. We went and earned those points tonight. I thought it was more a little bit of fourth quarter offense, but then the cumulative defense over the course of the night. I mean, obviously, they just got a little bit too much. It was kind of death by paper cut.
Mark, as the youngest team in the league, your age profile, not a lot of people may have predicted that you'd be in a situation at the defending champions in a game they had to have. I mean, can you just speak to the value of this experience for your team and sort of the portion of the cycle that you're in right now?
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's you look out on the court, you've got rookie players, you've got second, third year guys. Everybody at this point is playing the most minutes they've ever played in an NBA season for the most part, and having to grind through in games that have some weight. Not only for us but for our opponents. Almost every opponent that we've played over the last month, has had something to play for, and these are games that we're getting people's best shot. I thought we got their best shot tonight, and that's great for our growth. I love it for our guys, and I'm really impressed by how our guys are fighting and grinding that out. And I'm looking forward to the last 2 games.
We got one for Stevie right here, Coach. I would imagine they're going to bounce back, but any worries that this game will linger going into Salt Lake?
No, I think it's Steve. It's more about how we play, and I mentioned this before the game, but I didn't think the last week or so leading into the Phoenix game, we played at the level that we're capable of playing and up to the standard that we're capable of playing to. That happens in an NBA season over 82 games. You kind of have to endure parts of the schedule. And we had to endure some. I thought the Phoenix game, we got that on track, just competitively engagement. And I thought we had that again tonight. Tonight, I thought our execution let us down, but the competitiveness and the connection of the team was where it needed to be. So I think we've got kind of the car on the road in that standpoint, from that standpoint.
Just facing that team, that caliber of a team in a game that they had to have at home, their last home game of the season, just kind of take me through the intensity, the experience of getting to have that opportunity tonight.
Yeah, I mean, these type of games are great for us. As a young team playing against, another very experienced, strong team in a high-stake game. They're playing for position. We're playing, to try and keep our season going. And we understand what's at stake. And these type of games are great. It's fun. It's a hostile environment. It's on the road. And I think for 3 quarters we handled ourselves, in a really good manner. I think that last quarter, our offense wasn't good enough. They pushed us out of our stuff. They got some subs, but as I said, it's a great learning experience for our guys. That's you see what they did in that fourth. That's what it takes to win championships, to win games, to win big games. So credit to them. They pushed us out of our stuff and got stops defensively down the stretch. But I think for the most part, we played the right way. We executed the game plan. Steph got hot, Jordan got hot. But I think for the most part, their shots were tough. I think Lou. Wiggs, Dub, those guys, got on the ball handlers were, hounding them all night. When guys get hot like that, it's tough to stop because then Draymond gets in the pocket, starts picking teams apart. But I think we handled it well. We did what we needed to do. 125 is a very, very winnable score, especially against these guys. But our defense just, wasn't what it needed to be tonight.
Youngest team in the league would typically get punched in the mouth to start a game like this. What did you feel out there from within you all to be able to get off to the type of start that you got?
Yeah, I think we threw the first punch, which is critical in games like this against an experienced team, and those guys are going to try come out there and punk us from the jump, and rightfully so. But I think we took it to them early. We made them call the first time out. We had momentum. We're up 10 at the break, which put ourselves in a great position to win the game. But 3/4 time we're up 6, whatever it was, and We just needed to, start that fourth a little better. We needed to weather the storm, when they went on that run. But as I said, 3/4 of the game we controlled, and it was just that last, 8-10 minutes that we let it slip away and didn't grasp it and didn't, cut the deficit early enough to give ourselves a chance to win that game, with minutes left.
Were there any back-breaking things that happened kind of in that final 8 minutes that you really sensed up on?
I mean, when they hit deep threes and they're getting layups and they're putting us in rotations, there wasn't one specific play that, where the game got broken open. It was a series of events. It was us not scoring, not getting good looks, and led to them running out. They had guys playing in transition, getting on the rim. Draymond had a layup. We had to call a timeout. And I think that's when they really sparked their run. And after that timeout, we just had to do a good job of, coming out, controlling the tempo of the game. But it stayed on their terms, for that last 8 minutes. And against a team like that, you can't, trade bucket for bucket down the stretch. You have to get stops, and we didn't, the way we needed to.
Josh, given how young you guys are, what do you think you're gaining from being in big-time spots like this late in the year?
Yeah, it's a playoff environment. Obviously it's a high-stake game for both teams. And I think, to put ourselves in a position to win this game against, the reigning champions, shows credit to the growth of the group and where we've come from the start of the season to now. And these are the games, guys should love to play in. When the crowd's into it, it's the 79th game of the season for us and for them, and both teams are competing, playing to the through 48 minutes. So these are great fun to play in, and it's a great learning experience for our group. They showed us what you need to do to win games and championships, and they took it to us in that fourth. But as I said, for 3/4 we put ourselves in a position to win the game. We just didn't close it the way we needed to.
Anyone else? Oh, you got it. Sorry, Terrence.
You
Go ahead.
mentioned the offense for you guys. It seemed like there was a lot of physicality for you guys in terms of your ability to land that first punch. I think like 5 and 1s for you guys offensively. Just how important is that for the offensive start that you guys had?
Very. We got downhill. We put them in rotations. I think Lou did a great job early on getting to the rim, drawing fouls. Shai, Dub, getting to the paint. So, obviously if we could have made a few more free throws, that would have helped early on. But getting to the rim, forcing them to rotate, and I think our offense looked good. Early on, our offense looked good for 3/4. I mean, second half they go into a box and one. We had to find different ways to adjust, but guys did it on the fly. We figured out what we needed to do to get scores. Offense wasn't the problem tonight. We had 125 whatever points, and we gave up 138, which is a very, very hard score to beat.
Shai, you're one of the few guys who've been through some situations like this on your team. Just given the youth and kind of the profile of your team, how big of an experience was this tonight to play against the defending champs in a game they have to have in this type of environment?
Yeah, I think it's been like that for the past couple of weeks. Meaningful games that us as well as our opponents are really trying to get. In every game, all year is a learning experience, but towards the end of the year, when you're trying to get a certain position, for sure mean a little bit more.
A lot of the youngest team in the league coming into a situation like this might get punched in the mouth to start a game. You all were the ones that delivered the punch. What did you like best about the start of this game, either execution-wise or the mentality?
We were aggressive, weren't scared. We were confident. I think we were just ourselves. And I think that's what you try to get done in pressure situations. You just try to be who you are and not stray.
A lot of guys, everybody has changed on your team from the beginning of the year to now, but how much of a marker was that play by Ooze tonight to bowl over Jordan Poole and get an and one, just in terms of where he started the season to the physicality he's showing now?
Yeah, guys, like you said, are getting better across the board. And we obviously with age and us being so young, you get better the more you work in the weight room, on the court, practice. You understand certain things, and it's what we've expected. And it was just that play was an example of it for sure. But we've seen it across the board all year, I think, with the whole team.
Shai, how are you feeling just with your guys' position, 2 games left, kind of going back and fighting with Dallas to get that last playing spot?
I'm not sure. I know who we play our next 2 games. I don't know like what their next 2 look like or what the record is. Honestly, I'm just trying to get the next basketball game.
Shai, offensively for you guys, I think you had 5 and 1s throughout the night. In terms of kind of landing that first punch, how important was physicality and all of that for you guys?
Yeah, it usually is super important for us, especially being younger and undersized. We're more physical. When we bring the fight to teams, we're for sure a better team.